Hi, I'm Kristin,
And I'm Andrew.
and this
Is the Good Project.
Hey Andrew.
Hey, Kristen. How you feeling today?
I'm doing great. It was a really crazy storm this morning, but now it's like really sunny. It's really pretty out. I think it washed away a lot of the pollen, so I'm feeling good. How about you?
You know what? I'm so grateful this morning for weekend.
Yeah.
This was a crazy week for me, but it's been a crazy week. And so I was just so grateful this morning, waking up like thinking, I ain't got nothing to do today. But
Yes.
talk to my good friend. That's the only item, the only to-do list. And it's not really to do, that's a to want list. So
All right,
I'm
Tawan. I like that.
So yeah, I'm feeling very grateful. I'm feeling very grateful.
Is there one specific thing you're grateful for today or something that happened throughout the week that you're grateful for?
Well, ooh, I'm trying to think what's a good one, but I think, you know, honestly, I'm great. This is this is it's sort of low, but I'm grateful for television. Last
Okay.
night
That's not low.
I watched some great shows last night. And so as I was saying, like my week was a little bit crazy. And it's sort of like it's funny like how they can take you out of it and you can laugh, you can empathize, you can learn things. So, I'm especially grateful for good content. Keep it coming, guys. Good television content. What about you?
I'm grateful for healing and having the authority over healing. There was stuff I've been praying over
Ooh.
for myself and for my family too, and had to remind myself like I have the authority to speak that healing over my life and over family members, friends' lives. The Lord give us that ability to, because everything we're doing, it's through
Ooh.
Him. So I
Come
had to
on.
remind myself of that, and we've just been getting really great reports. So just thankful for
All right.
healing and having that
Come on,
authority over
Apostle
healing.
Kristen.
You
All right,
knew.
Apostle.
You got to remind yourself sometimes. You
I
have to
like
remind
that.
yourself.
Come on, that we have authority over stuff. Yeah, all right, Shando.
Yes.
Hey,
Hashanda. Haranana.
come
Shanana.
on, come on.
Well, in that spirit of gratefulness and reminders, could you remind us about our challenge that we worked on this past week?
Yes. So the challenge was to spend 5 minutes every day journaling. Journaling about what? It's up to you. But just to spend 5 minutes, at least 5 minutes, journaling, writing down your thoughts, getting them out, getting your feelings out. And we were supposed to do that every day. How was it for you?
It was great. I enjoyed it. I say I had that little bit of anxiety that we've been talking about with each challenge of like, okay, I got to remind myself to do this every day. Set
Mm-hmm.
a reminder to do it early in the morning before you start your day with work, before you get into everything else that's going on. I put on some nice, like little lo-fi soft music, got my journal out. And I enjoyed it. I felt like it was a really nice kind of mental offload of everything. Cause we have so many thoughts and so much just
Mm-hmm.
swirling around in our head every day. So it was really nice to start off the morning to offload and, like you said, write about anything. A lot of it was reflection. Sometimes it was just me like having my own little kind of dialogue conversation with myself. Whatever was coming up came out and I was able to write it on the page. And it felt really good to be able to have that designated time to do it in the morning. How about you? How was it for you?
Well, so funnily enough, you started off doing it in the morning. I did it at the end of the day. And
Ooh,
similarly, like all of our challenges, the problem with challenging yourself is it can be a challenge. And so so like, I
that's
think on
true.
the
Very
first
true.
day, I had forgot about it. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm in bed. I'm about to go to sleep. Oh, the challenge. Let me turn on the timer and start writing stuff down. What do I even have to write about? And what I tell you, I it was one of the most releasing things. There was a lot. I think these past couple of weeks, I was talking about this past week. It was stressful, and I was feeling a lot of emotions. Again, it was lead up to my birthday, as I said, and
Mm,
the idea of it was reflecting. But I was feeling a lot about. I don't know if it was, I just don't know what it was. I can't pinpoint anything specific, but I had a lot of feelings, and a lot of them were negative and
Mm,
were filled with stress, were filled with a little anxiety. So it was just a lot. And when I reminded myself to do this, I'm like, oh gosh, why do we challenge ourselves to do this? Now I have to think about it. When I started writing, and by writing, I mean typing in my notes app on my phone,
there you
I
go.
started to release.
Mm,
I
hmm.
started to release, and at first it was sort of like a personal burn book of all the issues going on. I can't believe it. And then I found myself as I was going through it, and it was not every time, but like turning it into a prayer, sort of trying to access what I actually want instead of how I feel. So instead of talking about negative, all the negativity that was going on, or the anxiety, I turned it into more of, what do you actually want? What do you actually view for your life? What are you wishing for? What are you hoping for? What are the things that are on your heart that you really need to get out?
Mm,
That you, not even on your heart. Let me rephrase that. The things that are on your heart that you need from life that you are not receiving. And that, I mean, and I guess that was part of the reflection aspect, um, and it was varied too, because sometimes it would just be like a prayer, and sometimes it helped also to not turn it into myself so much, and it started to make me think about others a little
yes.
bit differently,
Hmm. That
and what
outward reflection too.
exactly. And all in all, it's a tool that's going to be in my toolbox. It's been in my toolbox, but like sometimes I forget, and that's the good thing about challenging yourself, because with these challenges, like I've done these stuff. I've done a lot of this stuff before as a way to become grounded, but it's sometimes through, life, you sort of forget. You start living life so much that you forget about building in the tools to make sure you're living a good life, that you're living in a good way. And one of the positivities about having this as a requirement or challenging myself to engage in this activity is, whether I felt like it or not, whether I was conscious of it or not, I'm going to do this. And every time I did it, it was something positive. It was something that released, or that made me feel better. And so I highly recommend. I really enjoyed it. I think it was a great challenge.
I love that. And I think circling back to why we decided to do this good project, it was challenging ourselves and working on tools to not only help us feel better, but to just really improve quality of life. And I feel like throughout these set of challenges, we discover something new about ourselves and discover new tools that, again, we can add to our toolkit.
Exactly.
Let's go through
Exactly.
these. All right, let's go through these guided prompts. Was it easy to do? How accessible was it? For me, super easy. Got my journal out, pen, 5 minutes, very easy. How about
If
you?
you have a phone, you can do it.
Exactly.
Very
Right. You
easy.
used your phone. I think, right. We had different mediums we like to use to record our thoughts. You typed on your phone. I used pen and paper. Either way, we were able to jot down our thoughts and create notes for ourselves. So that was super
Exactly.
accessible. Uh,
Exactly.
Cost, there was no cost for me. Don't think there was a cost for you,
No.
other than your phone bill cost
Yeah, I
and
was like,
typing in your
my
notes on
my
your phone.
exactly.
Did it require a lot of research? Not a lot of research, but I think um kind of researching the best times for us, like it was early for me and later for you. I think that's an interesting
Yeah. Yeah.
observation.
Yeah. I mean, not research, but it did take me on a journey of searching within
All right.
myself.
Ooh, I'm with it. I like that.
Deep.
Not the research, but the search.
Search.
The search of life. And you mentioned a little bit, but would you recommend or would you not recommend? I would recommend it. I
Highly,
enjoyed it.
highly recommend. You need to be journaling. It needs to be a part of your your practice, your life practice. You need to be doing it.
Yeah. Every day, I don't know. Cause I think setting a timer for myself that felt like, okay, I need to complete this task, but I would like to incorporate it. I'd like to incorporate it into my daily practices and, just trying to find the best time
Hmm.
to journal. But
I
yes,
think,
it'll
yeah, I
be
think
a part
that's
of my
exactly
toolkit.
it. Being honest with yourself and using it as a tool of, when you need it, do it. And
There you go.
it's right there. It's very accessible. It's definitely cheaper than therapy, but you should definitely still be in therapy.
Yes, you should definitely
Yeah.
still participate in therapy as well. All right, Drew, let's discuss next week's challenge, which is also our final challenge for the series.
We're at the end.
Which we're at the end. We're at the end of the beginning. How about that?
Ooh, come on, D.
We're at the end of this first set of
Nuggets.
challenges, but we're not at the end of the challenge because
Ooh.
life is full of journeys and challenges.
You know, that
And we're
gave me
going
a
to
little
continue.
anxiety, but
That's okay because
yeah.
we're going to work through them and we're going to add these pieces to our toolbox because this is the good project. And that's what we do. I feel like that'll be our ad when we get our sponsorships.
Exactly.
But next week's final challenge will be,
what is it?
To take a fast. We're going to take a little fast from social media for the week.
What do you think we're going to get out of this?
Honestly, I anticipate getting more peace out of my day to day. How about you?
I anticipate being like, social media for me, it's a distraction. It's something to do like when you're sitting around, let me go on Twitter, let me go on Instagram, let me go on TikTok and distract myself as opposed to being present sometimes. So I think it's going to require me to be a little bit more present. And I definitely agree with the peace aspect. It's going to remove outside influences and sometimes allow me to generate within myself my own peace, as opposed to the distraction and the destruction of the exterior world.
So on that note, I'm excited for this final challenge. Andrew, will you lead us in a prayer to close us out?
Of course. All right. God, thank you for peace. Thank you for hope. Thank you for joy. Lord, I pray that we experience peace, hope, and joy as we turn off the distractions in our life that come from social media. Amen.
Amen.
All
okay,
right.
Andrew, I'll see you next week for this
Get
final
off the
challenge.
mats, girl. Get off the mats.
I know for me, it's gonna be getting off the gram.
Yeah, gram, Twitter. Oh my gosh. Well, I know what's happening in the world. We read a newspaper or something like that.
Oh yes. Or a news app. You could still look at your news app.
Yeah. I'm looking at news apps.
Not necessarily going to social medias for the first news flash that pops up. You have a wonderful rest of your weekend, and I look forward to hearing about this final challenge next week.
Me too. I look forward to, hearing what happens when you ain't so distracted.
There you go. Love you dearly, friend. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye. Hey everyone, it's Kristin. Thanks so much for tuning into The Good Project. You can email us at thegoodprojectpodcast@gmail.com or follow us on Instagram at The Good Project Podcast.